Hi, I'm Pam Smith, the KPMG Professor of Accountancy and one of the developers of NIU's College of Business Belief Program. As a faculty member in the College of Business, I invite you to join me in implementing the Belief Program into your classes and inspiring ethical leadership in the college. The mission of Belief Program is to be the educational leader fostering core ethical values and moral courage from the classroom to the business world. We've had many accolades that give evidence of success of that mission. The AACSB has identified us as a best practice. Bloomberg Business Week has ranked our program second or third in the country over a 4-year period. We've won international case competitions. We've had academic presentations and publications in many academic journals and academic conferences. The successes of Belief stem from the integrated structure of the program and the role that all of us play. On this screen, you're going to see that Belief is at the center. Who helps make Belief work? All of us. There's the Faculty for Ethics Committee, LEAD, the student organization, our corporate partners, and our alumni, and you, my friends, in the classroom every day. The outcomes of Belief are student-related activities, helping our students recognize ethical dilemmas and strengthening their decision-making. Faculty-related activities, providing support to you, my friends, so that you have the tools to implement Belief into the classroom. Curriculum-related activities, because ethical dilemmas occur throughout all aspects of business, in accountancy, and management, and marketing, and finance, and operations, and information systems. And then communication-related activities, so we can share the things that we do at Belief with others within the college and outside of the college to share our best practices. Belief supports and promotes the College of Business values. These values apply to faculty, staff, administrators, and students. You can never go wrong living your life by these simple values: excellence in what you do, integrity in how you do it, and caring in how you treat others. The Belief program was purposefully a double entendre. We have a fundamental belief that people want to do the right thing, and we believe in our students, and we know that they want to do the right thing. But we also know that good people make bad decisions, and sometimes those bad decisions don't have do-overs, and the consequences can be very severe. Can we make a difference as faculty and administrators and staff? The answer is yes. A study has shown that 3 to 5% of the population will commit a fraud no matter what the circumstances are. You know what? There's not much we're going to be able to do about those individuals. 8 to 10% of the population will not commit a fraud no matter how the circumstances are manipulated. God love them. 85% of the population, the behavior in these studies depends on the circumstances. The things that have the most influence on the depending part of their behavior is the awareness of the dilemma and the robustness of their decision-making framework. So, how can you and I make a difference in the classroom? Well, we can't change the morals and values of our students at this stage of their lives, but we can increase their awareness and reconnect them to their values. Talk to students about rationalization. That is the first step in recognizing a dilemma. You know, rationalization are statements like only this once, I'm only doing what I'm told, it's really none of my business, no one will notice, I really deserve this, and the one that we all see and hear, everyone else is doing it. Sometimes a student's perception of what they're doing versus their actions are not congruent. And we really want to challenge them thinking about what they're doing versus what they think they are doing. We need to take conscious and deliberate effort to design and execute our courses. Put things about the Belief program into your syllabus. Have discussions in your classes. Have assignments that the students can do. Have actions that are going to really help reinforce increasing awareness and strengthening decision-making. And it doesn't take a lot of time. I'm going to give you a couple hints on that in a minute. The most important influence of students' perception of what they're doing is their peer behavior. Faculty vigilance and action is really going to help us with that. So how can we make a difference? I think connect, engage, and inspire. Connect and understand the pressures and issues that the students face. Engage the students in discussions on what to do if they're faced with an ethical dilemma. How do they develop purposeful and responsible decisions? And inspire our students, and you do that every day in the classroom. Believe in the student's ability to make a difficult decision. Assure that they can stand up to the challenges they're going to face. You know, Martin Luther King said, "Our lives begin to end the day that we become silent about the things that matter." The things that really matter is the impact we're having on our students every day in the classroom. In addition to increasing students' awareness of potential ethical dilemmas by talking to them about rationalization, we also want to strengthen their decisions. So we've developed this really simple, pragmatic decision-making guide. The decision-making guide is on this little credit card size card, and it lists out the types of things that we want them to think about every time they're faced with a dilemma, and you can implement it in your classroom. It's really, really very simple. Determine the facts and state the problem. Identify who's the stakeholders and who's being impacted. The relevant factors, is this situation happening within a workplace or in a life situation? And then the 3 to 5 options. Don't let them get away with 2 options, because those are really, really easy to go, yes, do this, or don't do this. 3 to 5 really makes sure that they're putting some thought into the alternatives that are available. Assessing those options with the tests that we'll talk about in a minute, and make a tentative choice. So the tests are intended to look at options from 360 degrees. And in the handbook, it talks about each of these tests, but they're things like, is anybody going to be harmed? Is it against the law? Am I setting a precedent? What if it was on the front page of the paper? Could I defend it if I needed to? What would my mom or my dad say about this action or behavior? What if the circumstances were reversed? What does this do to my virtues of how I feel about myself? The professional test, what would my profession say, or my peers or colleagues? And what about my organization? Is this behavior or action congruent with the values of my organization? And the one I think that is the most important is, how does it make me feel? The Belief program has worked really hard to have tools available and resources for you so that you could integrate belief into your classes. One of those is the Belief Moment. The moments are available for you to use in the classroom to kind of stimulate thought and conversation. And actually, you don't even have to discuss it in class. You could put a belief moment up in the last minutes of class and then let them go out the door talking to each other and thinking about that moment. You could have another discussion the next day, or you could utilize the NIU response system and have them punch into their phone, and you can get a tally right away of what their responses are. So here's an example belief moment. And the moment is talking about somebody who scrimped and saved to get the perfect gift for the loved one for the holiday. And that they picked out their items and they fought through the crowded store and waited through those long checkout lines, and now they're done. When they finish, they get their receipt and they stuff their change and the receipt in their pocket, and they go home because they're happy they're done shopping. Once they get home, they look at the receipt and the change, and the clerk gave them too much change by a substantial amount. And the question is, what would you do? You could just toss that out there and let them think about that a little bit. Well, if you wanted to collect responses, one of the responses would be, A, go right back to the store and return the excess change. The clerk clearly made an error. Or another response would be, keep the change. It was their error. You don't have the time to go back. Besides, it's not your responsibility to correct their mistakes. The next response could be, hey, you could call the store manager and let them know that happened, and maybe they'll let you keep the money because you're honest. Or, you know what, you can just kind of get it off your conscience altogether and donate it, and that way you're not going to feel guilty because you gave it away to a good cause. You know, having them think about that is really great, or coming up with other alternatives. Another potential discussion point is, does it really matter how significant the dollar amount was? Does that influence their decision? If it was $20 versus 20 cents, does that impact them? At what level of the error would it impact their decision? Is it $20 or less, they're not going to bother? But what if it was like $100 or maybe $50? Thank you for being part of this incredible faculty and being part of developing the ethical leaders of tomorrow. It's an honor for me to work with you. You are role models and caring teachers. I truly appreciate your time, talent, and dedication to our students and your participation to make belief a continued success.